We all have those days where we can't seem to focus, but we also have times and moments where you feel like you're like fully immersed in something, whether you're cooking or exercising, maybe you're playing a game or doing some sort of competition. When it's something that you particularly enjoy, you find yourself able to focus. But what if you could focus even doing those tasks that aren't so enjoyable? We're going to talk about that today, and I think it's very possible with a few simple changes. Hi, I'm Diane LaFoon, and I'm convinced that you can choose joy. You can choose joy every day. Do you agree? Let me hear from you. Do you believe that you can choose joy today? I'd love to hear from you. So, how do you become more equipped to have focus even during those times when you're doing tasks that you don't particularly like to do? Well, I have 4 easy ideas that you can implement today that will help you do just that. And the first is that you start by setting up your environment. No matter what it is that you're getting ready to do, whether it's in a workspace like a desk or an office, or whether you're in a workshop or outside, or wherever you are in your kitchen, if you're starting something that you don't particularly like to do and you want to be focused and have great concentration on it, then you need to set your environment up. There is lots of different information out there, both for and against having a messy desk. And if you could see my desk, you'll find that it's a little bit messy. It gets messier some days and less messy other days, but you've got to find what works for you. The most important thing is tidying up enough to know where things are. You've got to know where everything is that you need for working on whatever project it is. And so if your desk starts to get really messy, where you aren't able to find those things that you need, or if your workspace, wherever you are, gets that way, then it's time to tidy up. Next, for setting up your environment is consider what's going to make you comfortable. Natural lighting. I have a great big sliding glass door right across from my desk here, and I love it because I see our backyard, and it's just natural lighting, and it is so much better for you than like the overhead lights and artificial lighting. It's better for your focus. It's better for keeping that glare away. It's better for your sleep cycles as well. So when you can use natural lighting in your work environment, that's going to help set you up for a better chance at focusing and concentrating as well. You also want to be comfortable. You want to make sure that wherever you are, whatever the height of the counter is, or your desk, or if you're standing or sitting, wherever you are, you want to make sure you're comfortable. We've all heard about ergonomics and having these chairs and desks and things like that are ergonomically friendly. And what that just means is that ergonomics, the definition of that is the science of fitting a workplace to a user's needs. So ergonomics wants to increase your efficiency and your productivity and reduce any discomfort, like from clicking on a mouse or whatever. So make sure you're comfortable in whatever setting you are. And then you may have experienced how aromas can have effect on your focus and concentration. The smell of coffee can help you, stand up to attention and have more focus and attention. Well, it's the same with essential oils. And so I always include essential oils when I'm setting up my environment. You see, I have an essential oil diffuser here because that aroma actually triggers those things in your brain that help you stand up to attention and enable you to focus better. My 2 favorite essential oils to diffuse are rosemary and lemon essential oil. It's a great combination. And if you do a little Googling, a little research, you'll find there's studies that show that using lemon essential oil can help trigger those memories and help you be more creative. And same with rosemary. There's great research out there about how these can help you focus and have more concentration and be more creative in the task that you're trying to achieve. And if you don't have a diffuser, that's not a problem. All you need to do is get a little spray bottle and put essential oils in your spray bottle and mix it with some purified water, and then just spray the area as well. Or even just take the oil, put it in your hand, and then kind of waft the oil after you rub your hands together, waft your hands around the room, and that will also spread that aroma of those oils and help you to be able to concentrate and focus better. Now, I will tell you, besides the lemon and rosemary, I've used vetiver, I've used cedarwood, peppermint essential oil is also good for that. But Young Living makes some great blends where they've already blended together aromas that kind of come together for a purpose. One of these is called Clarity, and that features 12 essential oils that are put together to promote feelings of stability, focus, there we go, and a sense of productivity. Brain Power is another essential oil blend from Young Living. And it's a blend of cedarwood, frankincense, lavender, and melissa, and it helps create clarity and stability in the environment that would be conducive to work or study. I know my sister-in-law has used brain power when she's getting ready to speak to an audience. She likes to use it topically on her temples, maybe the back of her neck. And then they have an oil called Genius. It's Kid Sense Genius Essential Oil Blend. And it's a blend designed just for kids. And it promotes a rich aroma for an atmosphere of inspiration, productivity, and positivity that is ideal when children are concentrating on projects or schoolwork. And I'll give you a hint. Even though it's created for children, it works great for adults too. So Genius, Kid Sense Genius is another blend from Young Living. So our first step, we have set up and created an environment that makes it conducive to focus and concentration. Next, we've got to make a plan. You have to plan for a specific amount of time you're going to dedicate to whatever it is you're doing. Because without a plan, you're just going to wallow and take whatever comes along, and distractions are going to get in the way. And there are different studies out there. Some call for a 25-minute focus time and then a 5-minute break. Some call for like a 90-minute focus time and then a break, a longer break. I do like to do my work in bigger chunks. And so, boy, that 60 to 90-minute window where I am just focused on whatever I'm doing, I feel like I can, ignore distractions, ignore all the social media notifications or phone notifications that you've got going on, and actually get the work done. And the other thing that I find handy too is if something comes to your mind, something that, oh, I've got to remember that, or oh, I've got to do that later, write it down. Keep a pen and paper handy and just write it down, and don't let it take you off your focus and your concentration of the task that you're trying to achieve. Another thing, if I don't have a pen and paper handy and I'm working on something, I usually have my phone, which is probably the biggest distraction. And what I like to do is just shoot myself an email. And then later when I check my email, I can remember that was what I was going to do, or that I needed to add that to the grocery list or whatever. So that is a great way to handle distractions when you're making a plan, a set time to say, okay, this is my window of focus. This is what I'm going to be doing right now, and I'm not going to do anything else. One of my favorite things to do is to cook. I like to cook, period. I like to cook food and I like to enjoy good food. And one of the things that I found is a meal prep delivery service called Blue Apron is so helpful. One of the reasons I love Blue Apron is because, well, they make delicious food. That's one thing. But they also they tell you exactly what's going to happen. They say this recipe, this meal will take 20 to 30 minutes to make, and here are the 10 exact steps you need to create it. And so that's wonderful. If you can set that kind of time and pattern up for doing your tasks as well, you're going to get through them. Each task, have you ever heard the phrase, how do you need an elephant? One bite at a time. When you've got a large task before you, a large project that you need to achieve, break it down into those bite-sized tasks, set yourself a goal of a time, and then do those little steps that get you towards achieving that project. So we've created a friendly environment for focus. We have made a plan for focus. Now it is time to take a break. Yes, you have to take breaks. You have to not work at it all day long or for hours on end. You have to take a break. And that's when you can get back to those distractions, like those notifications on your phone or those things that you wrote down earlier. It sounds pretty simple, but I am betting that you've found even if you take a short break from your work, it can be difficult to kind of break away from what you're doing, but you have to do it. You have to take those breaks and don't get focused and bogged down into the task at hand, the project at hand, or else you're going to start spinning. Your creativity is just going to go flat. And it's interesting. A study from the University of Illinois found that participants who were given a short break during 50-minute tasks, they had these 50-minute tasks and they were given short breaks, they performed better than those who worked straight through. So they found that taking breaks can help clear out all the clutter from your mind and allow you to think more clearly, more focused, like we're trying to. Taking a break can recharge your attention span and enabling you to refocus on the task at hand. And breaks help you stay motivated. You don't get tired. You don't get into that slump, as they remind us that we're making progress on something that gives us some personal sense of accomplishment. And finally, taking breaks helps with fatigue and ultimately reduces errors in performance. So you've got to take those breaks. We've set up our environment. We've made a plan for the time we're going to use. We're taking breaks. And finally, Stop multitasking. Multitasking is awful. In fact, according to the Center for Brain Health at the University of Texas at Dallas, multitasking is toxic for your brain. That's not good. What they call the myth of multitasking is actually hurting your productivity, interfering with brain systems, and adding to your stress level. Cognitive testing and brain imaging reveal that multitasking is not good. In fact, it's not really real. You're not ever really focused on one thing if you're doing too many things at once. And what these tests revealed is that it causes shallower thinking, increased errors, and a dramatic negative decrease in mental processing. So you're not doing anybody any favors when you try to multitask. Concentrate on one task at a time. Try to perform the task sequentially in order. And remember just to focus on one thing at a time, even if it's just for short periods, if you block out just that short period of time. One idea to stop the temptation of multitask, again, is to have that pen and paper handy. So if you get distracted, you write it down, you shoot yourself an email, whatever you can do to get that off your mind so that you can get back to the single task at hand that you're doing. So if you're looking for some practical ways to, increase your focus, I hope this episode has helped you and given you a few ideas. You'll find some more encouraging tips from me on my Instagram account. If anybody's over on Instagram as well, I'd love to see you there. I do post this Joy Tip of the Week over there on Tuesdays as well, and you can watch it on Instagram TV, but there are also other posts that may be helpful for you as you try and focus and work on your concentration and achieving more in a day. So to increase your focus, I recommend on setting up your surroundings and creating a schedule that you can stick to before you even get started. And this will make it easier for you to stay on task. And most importantly, stop multitasking since it can be harmful to your brain, and take those breaks. We love to take those breaks because they're refreshing, they're good for you, they're healthy for you. And it may sound simple, but these are the steps to increase your focus, even when you're doing something you don't particularly enjoy. I encourage you to try these 4 basic principles: setting up your environment so you're ready for success, making a plan for the amount of time you're going to use, taking those breaks, and then also not multitasking, focusing on a single task every single time. Because when you increase your focus, you will find it easier to choose joy. And we all know that joy isn't something that simply happens to us. We have to choose joy and keep choosing joy every single day.